これはなしだ。うわ。
うわ、すごいすごい。うわ、まだ来る。
あら。
It struck without the slightest warning. A powerful earthquake ripped through northern Japan, the kind of violent jolt residents say they haven't experienced in years. Just after nightfall, the ground bucked upward, as if something massive was lifting the entire region from below. Buildings groaned, streets trembled, people froze, then bolted for safety as floors shifted under their feet. The shaking was so intense that windows quivered like thin sheets of metal ready to burst. Lights flickered while walls twisted unnaturally. For viewers overseas, the unfolding scenes were a chilling reminder of how quickly nature can overturn the rhythm of daily life. Japan's seismic sensors lit up instantly. Emergency announcements echoed across several prefectures as the system detected a deep undersea rupture, exactly the kind known for producing long, unpredictable aftershocks. Although the full magnitude had yet to be confirmed, early assessments described shaking forceful enough to sway cars, send shells crashing down, and push aging buildings to their breaking point. Inside homes, apartments, and offices across northern Japan, the chaos accelerated in seconds. What began as a soft vibration grew into a violent rolling motion that made the ground feel almost liquid. Ceiling lamps whipped side to side. Cabinet doors burst open. Plates, books, and electronics flew from shelves as if yanked by invisible hands. Older structures reacted first. Plaster walls cracked. Chunks of ceiling loosened and fell, and furniture skidded across trembling floors. In mid-rise apartment blocks, residents heard deep structural groans, the haunting sound of metal and concrete flexing under extreme pressure. Family members shielded one another under tables or door frames, relying on instincts drilled into them through years of earthquake safety training. Some clung to countertops or desks while the shaking intensified, dragging on long enough to rattle even the most earthquake-hardened locals. Every second stretched. The fear came not just from the shaking itself, but from the uncertainty. No one knew if it would ease or escalate into something far worse. Outside, the scenes were just as terrifying. Cars rocked so violently that their alarms erupted in unison, turning parking lots into deafening walls of noise. Street lights swayed in wild arcs. Trees shook violently as dust, leaves, and loose branches scattered across the streets. People poured from homes and apartment buildings, racing into open spaces where falling debris couldn't reach them. Parents carried children. Neighbors shouted warnings to one another. Crowds sprinted towards schoolyards, intersections, and parks, desperate for anywhere that felt stable beneath their feet. Then came the sirens. Public emergency systems activated across multiple towns, sending out sharp electronic alarms that pierced through the chaos. The warnings added urgency to an already panicked atmosphere. Glass storefronts shattered. Sidewalks cracked in older neighborhoods. Power lines whipped overhead. Some people cried, others prayed, many simply froze in fear. When the main tremor finally slowed, relief didn't come. Instead, everyone braced themselves, because in Japan, a major quake is rarely the end. Inside homes, the destruction was clearer. Dust drifted through hallways as walls split open. Ceiling lights tore loose and crashed to the ground. Shelves toppled, sending books, dishes, and electronics smashing onto floors. Refrigerators slid across kitchens. Water leaked from cracked pipes, flooding hallways. People shouted directions through the chaos. Turn off the gas, stay low, stay calm. Memories of past disasters pushed residents to act quickly. Emergency lines received reports of broken windows, collapsed interior walls, people trapped in rooms, and widespread structural damage. But the most overwhelming part wasn't the destruction. It was a sense of helplessness. For a brief, terrifying window of time, the place everyone trusted the most, their home, felt like it was turning against them. Along the coast, a deeper fear spread instantly. Even without a tsunami alert, thousands rushed toward higher ground, haunted by the memory of tragedies that reshaped the country. Fishermen reported strange wave patterns. Families climbed hills, gathered in evacuation zones, or watched the sea with wide, anxious eyes. Authorities patrolled coastal roads with loudspeakers, stressing that no significant sea level anomalies had been detected. But reassurance could only go so far. In Japan, even the slightest tremor near the ocean awakens a familiar dread. What if another wave is forming? Just as people began steadying their nerves, the earth trembled again. Aftershocks ripple across the region. Short, sharp jolts, followed by longer, rolling echoes that send crowds running back into open areas. Emergency shelters filled quickly. Parents clutched their children as lights flickered and windows rattled with each tremor. In parks and parking lots, families stayed wrapped in blankets, too afraid to return indoors. The aftershocks weren't catastrophic, but they were emotionally crushing. Each one rekindled memories of past collapses, power failures, and tragedies. Seismologists reminded the public that deep ocean ruptures regularly trigger long chains of secondary quakes. As dawn broke, Japan's disaster response machinery was already fully operational. More than 1,000 emergency personnel mobilized within minutes. Firefighters, medics, police units, engineers, and drone teams scanning damaged areas from the sky. Command centers coordinated shelter openings, transport shutdowns, and communication with coastal towns still on alert. Residents lined up calmly for supplies. Volunteers swept debris from storefronts. Evacuation centers distributed water, blankets, and heaters as temperatures dropped overnight. Engineers inspected bridges, rail lines, and high-rise structures for signs of strain. Bullet train routes were temporarily paused for safety checks. Despite the fear, Japan's discipline and preparedness shone through. The country moved like a well-rehearsed machine, organized, focused, and united. But officials repeated the same message. Stay alert. More tremors may follow. By the time the seismic activity eased, northern Japan was left with a sobering reminder of its reality. Living on the Pacific Ring of Fire means danger is never far away. Residents emerged from shelters with mixed expressions: exhaustion, fear, gratitude, and the shock of what they had just survived. Buildings still stood, but the emotional toll was far deeper than the cracks in the walls. Experts warned that underground instability could continue for weeks. Preparedness wasn't optional. It was a way of life. For the rest of the world, this earthquake was a warning. Nature strikes without knocking. It tests every weakness, structural and human. If you're watching this, take a moment to think about your own readiness. Would you know where to go, what to do, how to protect the people you love? Stay informed, stay alert, and if you want real-time coverage of major global events, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.